What's up guys, Alex here, and what we're going to do in this video is we are going to look for and place some profitable college football bets. So what we can do is just kind of scroll through and look for some interesting betting opportunities. Obviously, there are a lot of line discrepancies at this time, so let's just look for one. So we see in the Florida-Tennessee game, over 64.5 points is minus 102 odds on Pinnacle. You can get Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world. You can get over 64.5 plus 115 odds on DraftKings. So this is a direct arbitrage betting opportunity to Pinnacle, right? So if you had a DraftKings account, if you had a Pinnacle account, you could bet on both sides and make a risk-free profit. Granted, it's small, it's only 0.22%, but the point is one of these bookmakers has to be wrong. And again, Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world, this plus 115 on DraftKings is absolutely something that we want action on, right? This plus 115 on DraftKings is a profitable bet. So we can click on this game and actually take a look. So we're looking at over 64.5, right? You can see 5 Dimes has it minus 102 odds. It's plus 105 on Barstool, plus 105 on BetRivers, minus 102 on Pinnacle. So this plus 115 clearly is an outlier. It's a direct arb to Pinnacle. So this is a bet we are going to want to place, and then we can add it to our bet tracker. So what we can do is we can go to college football, we can go to alternate total, and we can look up the Florida game. So we'll see Florida over 64.5. Is that what we were looking at? Over 64.5 was plus 115 odds. It looks like they actually just moved it to plus 120 odds, so we may be even able to get a little bit better. So what we can do is look for this. So over 64.5, it looks like it just ticked up to plus 120. Over 64 oh no, that's the Florida State game. So we want to go to the Florida game. So we want to go to Florida. I apologize. So over 64.5 plus 115 odds in the Florida game. Should not be looking at the Florida State game. And we can see plus 115 odds. This is a mathematically profitable bet. So we can place this specific bet. This bet will go under review, and then we'll see if it takes it or not. So that is our first tracked bet. So what we can do is add this to our bet tracker, and we can go to $1,000. Over 64.5 in the Florida game placed on DraftKings. This is now added to our bet tracker, which will calculate our CLV, our closing line value. It'll track our winnings and losses. It will do everything like that for us. So we have one profitable bet place that we're pretty happy with. So we can go to this Florida game. And what's interesting about this specific example actually is you can see that BetCris, this B right here, it's a pretty sharp offshore sportsbook. They actually have the total set at minus 108, over 66.5. So BetCris started ripping towards, higher in this Florida versus Tennessee game. And it looks like Pinnacle is starting to move higher, and we're still able to get this plus 115 on DraftKings, which again is great value to literally any book, right? It's profitable to 5 Dimes, which has minus 102, minus 118. So it's almost an arb to 5 Dimes. It's an arb to Pinnacle. And BetCris has the total at 66.5. So this over 64.5 I feel great about. And I'm pretty happy they just took the bet. So we can go, and we can go to my bets. And that will be our first tracked bet. So we see that we were able to get over 64.5 in the Tennessee-Florida game, plus 115 odds. So again, when arbitrage exists in any financial market, not just sports betting, that's a financial market inefficiency. One sportsbook has to be wrong whenever arbitrage exists, right? One sportsbook has to be wrong if there's an opportunity to make free money. The two sharpest sportsbooks are Pinnacle and Bookmaker. BetCris is also a relatively sharp sportsbook. So if you don't have Pinnacle odds, you can look at BetCris. If you don't have Pinnacle odds, you don't have Bookmaker odds, you can look at BetCris, which is usually pretty close to the Bookmaker odds. So we have one mathematically profitable college football bet placed in the total points market, and we can kind of scroll through, look for some other things that maybe we want action on. So we can look at this Tulsa game. So it looks like Pinnacle, it's roughly in line. It looks like BetCris is just the outlier here, so we'll skip over it because, again, Pinnacle, Bookmaker, two sharpest sportsbooks in the world. You don't want to be placing bets with OddsJam unless the bet you are getting is great value to either Pinnacle or Bookmaker. So we can scroll through, we can see if there's anything else that is interesting. And what we'll see is here's another good betting opportunity, right? First half point spread, Navy plus 7.5 is plus 155 on DraftKings. It's plus 120 on Pinnacle, right? It's another arb to Pinnacle. So if I had a DraftKings, I had a Pinnacle, I could use an arbitrage calculator, place bets on both sportsbooks, and make a risk-free return. So I'm not, you can't bet from Pinnacle in the US, so we're not looking at Pinnacle to place arbitrage bets on Pinnacle. We're looking at Pinnacle as a source of information. Because Pinnacle is the most efficient betting market, they're arbitrage friendly, they allow large bet sizes. We use this as a source of information that, hey, Pinnacle is only giving you plus 120 on this. You can get plus 155 on DraftKings. That's a great bet, right? You're using it as a source of information. We know one of these sportsbooks has to be wrong. Either Pinnacle has to be wrong and Houston minus 7.5. First half point spread is too good to be true. Or DraftKings has to be wrong with Navy plus 7.5 plus 155 odds. So we'll go back to college football. This will be our second tracked bet. And we can go here. We can go to halves, and then we want to go to alternate spread, and then we want to go to Navy plus 7.5 plus 155 odds, and I'll place 250 on it. So I'll bet this one a little smaller because I actually bet on Navy a bit earlier in the week. So you just, on OddsJam, you just click on an odd to add it to your bet tracker. So I'll click on this DraftKings, that checkbox, and then I'll just put 250. So now we have two tracked bets. So I can go to my bet tracker if I want to, and I can see my current outstanding bets, and then we'll grade them for you as a win or a loss. The OddsJam bet tracker is 100% free. So you can see I've bet on first half point spread, Navy plus 7.5, plus 155 odds, and the current Pinnacle 0 vig line is in this Pinnacle CLV column, and it's 100 plus 130. So we bet something that currently has a 0 vig line to Pinnacle of plus 130, and we got plus 155. So we got way better odds than the current Pinnacle 0 vig line, which is what you want to do as a sports bettor. Profitable sports bettors are consistently beating the closing odds at Pinnacle, right? If you're beating the closing odds at Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, in the world, you're going to be a profitable sports bettor. So we'll go back to the arbitrage page. Let's see if there's anything interesting that exists. And we can see there are tons of discrepancies. College football lines are really on the move. And what we'll do actually is I'm not going to be using BetMGM today. So BetMGM's in a lot of these. So I'm going to filter out BetMGM, Borgata, and Bwin. I'm just going to filter out a few of the books that I'm not using. So you can filter out books always in your settings under overview. Just hit save changes after filtering them out in books to exclude. And then we'll go back to the arbitrage page and let's see if there's anything interesting. So you can see Texas A&M, Arkansas lines, these are starting to move. Wisconsin, Notre Dame, those odds are starting to move around, and we can look for something interesting. So we just bet this, right? Florida, Tennessee, so we already bet that. But what we can see is there's also an NFL betting opportunity. Vikings minus 2.5, you can get that plus 145 on DraftKings. Pinnacle's only giving you plus 126. This is a direct arb to Pinnacle Sportsbook. So I believe I already bet some Vikings as well. But I can place another bet on this. So this will be our third tracked football bet. So what we can do is go to Vikings. And we can go to Vikings minus 2.5, plus 145. And we can place, $150 on that. Again, I believe I already have some Vikings bet. So maybe I don't want to get too much more on. But again, that's really the power of the OddsJam software, right? When arbitrage exists in financial markets, including sports betting is a financial market. You have a bunch of different bookmakers setting odds independently. Is in these rare situations where these line discrepancies exist, right? Like we're currently seeing. If we go to NFL, right? DraftKings has tons of data on its site. It's very difficult to find good betting opportunities manually without software. So what's so amazing about OddsJam is we have real-time feeds to all of these sports books, and we point out the discrepancies directly to you, right? So we take all the hard work out of sports betting. You literally just need to scroll through, look for interesting betting opportunities like this Florida versus Tennessee over 64.5 points plus 115. Arb to Pinnacle and place that bet. That's all you have to do as a sports bettor. We display the information. You determine which bets you actually want to place. So we can go through, see if there's anything else that's interesting. And we already bet this. Bengals plus 155 on DraftKings. Pinnacle is only giving you plus 142, so there's value to Pinnacle. It's an arb to bettor. We said it earlier. Bettor is a pretty sharp, efficient offshore sportsbook. So you can see there's a fair amount of betting opportunities. Also in the 49ers game, here's another interesting one, right? Like in week 4 NFL, I believe this would be, you can get Seahawks plus 170 on DraftKings. The 49ers this is an arb to 5 dimes, which has minus 160, and it looks good to FanDuel, right? FanDuel's only giving you plus 146 on the Seahawks, and we can get plus 170 on DraftKings. So that's definitely a bet I want to place as well and get some exposure to. So what I'll do is I'll go to game, and I'll do Seahawks, and I'm looking for the game versus the 49ers. So this is 1 week away. I can see they're plus 170. And I do like this bet, so I'll place 1,500 on it. They're not going to give me that. They're going to limit me. They're only going to give me $403. So let's see if they let me bet it again. And they're not going to let me. So they gave me plus 170 for $403. So another line discrepancy. Again, whenever arbitrage exists, you know there has to be a profitable betting opportunity. So in this scenario, 5 dimes has to be wrong or DraftKings has to be wrong. 5 dimes is a relatively sharp, not the smartest bookmaker in the world. It's not Pinnacle, but it's a relatively sharp offshore sportsbook. And what you can see is in this line discrepancy, plus 170 is clearly the outlier. FanDuel is only giving you plus 146 on the Seahawks. 5 dimes is only giving you plus 140, and this is an arb to 5 dimes. This plus 170 is almost an arb to FanDuel. Is this plus 170 is an incredible betting opportunity. That is definitely something that you want action on. So we can, do that, and then we can track our bet if we want to. We got 403.56. So we'll go back here. We'll put in 403.56. And then we can check one last time if there's any new interesting betting opportunities. Again, these odds are constantly shifting around, and we can see if there's anything we want to place. So here's one that's interesting, right? This UFC fight, minus 146 on FanDuel, right? It's almost an arb to DraftKings, almost an arb to Caesars, and it's an arb to 5 dimes. So that's another good betting opportunity. So what we can do is just go here. We can try to go to FanDuel and place this bet as well on, I can't pronounce that name, Misha versus Jotko. So that would be another betting opportunity. I don't want to let this video get too long, but this is something I'll absolutely bet, after this video. So we'll see if there's anything else on DraftKings because we have that specific sportsbook pulled up. We already bet this. Bengals plus 3, first half point spread, minus 110 odds. So it looks like lines have been ripping towards the Bengals throughout the course of this week. So that's another good betting opportunity. So you can see there are a lot. You just need to keep an eye out. You need to keep an eye peeled. And as long as you're hitting refresh on the OddsJam arbitrage page and on the OddsJam positive expected value page, you will be able to see a lot of opportunities pop up. So we can go to this game. And what we can see is, now I forget the betting opportunity. Oh, here it is. It's Arkansas plus 7.5. So minus 145 odds. So minus 134. So it seems like this is probably good. This Arkansas plus 7.5. Minus 145, considering 5 dimes has Texas A&M minus 7.5 plus 150. But it's a little unclear because Pinnacle's market stops at 6.5. So I think we'll skip over that one and we'll call it a day. But again, hit refresh on the OddsJam arbitrage page. New opportunities will always be coming, they'll always be going away. So hit refresh, look for new information coming out in sports betting markets like this one just popped up, right? That we recently placed, Seahawks versus 49ers. This is absolutely a bet you want to place. This plus 170 is too good to be true, and why not get a head start on profitable betting for NFL Week 4? So I hope you found this video helpful, and in future videos, we'll kind of cover more of the same. Thank you.